In my opinion, some of the best tests in school were the open book test. It means you don't have to memorize everything. And that's real life, right? None of us memorize everything for our job. There's always something we have to look up, refer to, etc. AI is no different. AI has a limited amount of inherent knowledge. No matter how it's trained, there is a limitation there. So that idea of an open book test is a real thing for AI. It has to have a way to bring in, to look at something that it doesn't already know. And that is called retrieval augmented generation, also known as RAG. Retrieval augmented generation, RAG, is just a complicated sounding way to say, I need information outside of what I know to complete a task. So you can input information into an AI system and query it, or just give it information for it to work with. What kind of information? All of it. Anything you can think of that you can be input counts as RAG. So web, if there's a web search that it does, any kind of documents, logs, Slack, images, any of this, and dozens of things I'm not even thinking of right now, can either be searched or you can input it into an AI system through the prompt and ask it questions. So let's say you buy yourself a fancy new motorcycle, and you can input the user manual, the owner's manual, through, say, a PDF document, and now you can ask AI questions against that. The model is a year old. It doesn't know, the AI model is a year old, so it doesn't know about this new fancy motorcycle you got. It doesn't have inherent knowledge of it, but you can put that in and now have queries against it. So it's great. It's the open book test for AI. There's a downside to this, though. It is not unlimited. If your professor or teacher said, hey, you can bring whatever you want, but it's a maximum of 3 inches of stacked paper, 8.5 by 11 paper. That's the maximum amount we're going to allow you to look at in order to pass this test, in order to accomplish your goal. In AI, that is called a context window. Now, we have other videos on a context window, so go check those out. But the short version is context windows are an amount of short-term memory for an AI system. Now, that short-term memory is used up by you texting it texting you, sending information back to you is also in the context window. But for the purposes of this video, we're talking about context windows for how much information we can put in. So if you have a 100-page owner's manual, that's easy. But what if you try to put in massive amounts of data? If you say, hey, search through these 1,000 images and tell me which one is this, it may, and at some point, it will exceed its context window size. And context windows kind of work like this. If we just pretend this is a whole bunch of data right here, and let's say when we started, our context window is actually sliding. Maybe the way to say it is, as we add more data, the context window slides over, which means guess what's happening? We're losing anything early. It really is first in, first out, where our context window is now here and here, and all this other ones and such I had here, it forgets. It does not know the early things that I put in. So this is where you start seeing what appear to be failures in AI, that it's something's wrong with it or not working well. One of the problems a lot of times is the context window is full or getting full. Just like if I ask you to memorize a bunch of things, it gets more challenging for you to maybe have a conversation like this if you're trying to remember 100 things versus, say, 10. So context window management is an important part of RAG. Just keep that in mind when you're inputting information in. So RAG, retrieval augmented generation, is any data outside of what is trained in the model. Here are some examples of that, but always be aware of that context window. If you've never heard of a context window before, go check out that video right now. Thank you very much.